Hi everyone, my name is Charlie and today I want to talk about my top 5 favourite Christmas films. Firstly, we have the film The Snow Queen. I'm not talking about Frozen, I'm not talking about The Snow Queen that they released was in Denmark. I'm talking about The Snow Queen that was released in the 1990s. I swear it had David Jason and some British actors in there. The Snow Queen has a mirror, her little imps, elves, gnomes, goblins, whatever they're called, are taking it somewhere and they smash it and it falls across the world and it ends up landing in the eye and the heart of this young boy who she subsequently kidnaps, and then his sister has to go and find him. It's an amazing film with a great sequel, and me and my sister used to watch this film all the time because we both really enjoyed it and it kind of became a staple Christmas film of our childhoods. Next we have The Santa Claus 2, and these are the films with Tim Allen, specifically The Santa Claus 2 because that's the first film that I saw in this series, and I prefer it to the first one and the third one because he's an arsehole in the first film. This guy, who's now Santa Claus because he killed the original Santa in the first film, has to find a wife, otherwise he can't be Santa Claus anymore. So he goes back to where he used to live and searches for a wife, and I'm pretty sure it's the lady who played the Snow Queen Ingrid in Once Upon a Time. And throughout the whole film he's trying to win her heart. Will he or won't he? Because she doesn't believe in Santa Claus because some shit went down when she was a child and she's suffered some sort of anger towards Santa ever since. And basically another film that kind of made my childhood. These are all going to be childhood films because basically they don't make Christmas films for adults. No, they don't. Because Christmas isn't a time for adults. No, adverts are for adults, you know, where you see them at Tesco and they're having a dinner party. I ain't going to have a dinner party because there aren't that many people in the world I like. If I was going to have any sort of like Christmas soiree, it would be me, a television and a bacon sandwich. Next we have Home Alone 2. Again, another sequel. For some reason, the second Home Alone film just appeals to me. I don't know why. Maybe it's because now we know all the characters so we don't have to go through all that of the first film of them running around. Maybe it's because this time it was an honest mistake and wasn't just child neglect. I don't know. It's a great film and all these are great films. If you haven't seen them already, then you're doing something wrong with your life and you clearly don't love Christmas as much as somebody who's going through some sort of crisis at the moment. Next, we have Arthur Christmas. This film came out a few years ago. I think it has James McAvoy in it. Basically, Arthur Christmas is the son of Father Christmas. Father Christmas goes out, delivers all these presents with the help of his elves, and then one girl gets left out, and Arthur Christmas decides he's going to go and deliver the present himself with the help of his grandfather, who clearly has some form of senile dementia and shouldn't be allowed in charge of a sleigh. And they traverse the entire world with a reindeer and an elf, and basically try and get this present to this girl before Christmas Day. It's one of those films that I watch and I re-watch. This was a film that when I found out about, I must have found out about it about a year before it was going to come out, and then I was waiting for the trailers, and then I watched the trailers, and then I told my family they'd have to go and see it, and then I forced my family to go and see it, and then we all went and we all enjoyed it, and we had a very Merry Christmas. Thank you very much. And then finally, the film that kind of tops this list, and is one of those films that I look out for and I try to watch whenever it's on. A few years ago, my telly in my room's broken, they wouldn't let me watch it downstairs, so I watched this film on my brother's fuzzy telly with lines going all across it, and it's Scrooge, or any variation on Scrooge apart from Scrooged that stars Bill Murray, because I've never seen that. I like A Muppet's Christmas Carol, that was also here. I put a fucking forward slash on this thing because I wanted to include A Muppet's Christmas Carol. A Muppet's Christmas Carol is great. It has music in it, it has Kermit, and as I mentioned last year, I thought Michael Caine was Charles Dickens. Next, we'll go back a bit further. Scrooge, starring with Alistair Sim, which is one of those films that when I watch it I think immediately this is A Christmas Carol, and if you watch Scrooge with Alistair Sim and then you watch the Jim Carrey animated version from a few years ago, you kind of get a very similar film, which is why I don't tend to enjoy the Jim Carrey one as much, because I can't help but feel like it's just the Alistair Sim version but in colour. But obviously these films are going to be very alike because they're just telling the same story. There's also the Albert Finney one from either the 70s or 80s that includes music and some scene of Scrooge getting sent down to hell, and I just like that for the complete campiness and strangeness of that film. And it also has a great song in it that Scrooge decides to join in with, and then realises that actually they're all happy because he's dead. And to me, that's probably what they'll be playing at my funeral. You know, whenever that happens. I don't know whether, you know, if you don't have a soul and you're a terrible human being, what really happens in the end. These are my favourite Christmas films. You can tell me what your favourite Christmas films are. Are you a fan of any of the Hallmark versions or the Lifetime movies? Because they just kind of make me want to vomit with their cheesiness. Yeah, tell me your favourite Christmas films. And I hope you enjoyed this video. And until next time, that is all.